Boom. We are going to do this right this time. Holy smokes, let's make sure this happens. Welcome to John Ferrian Live. For everybody who's here and was here a few minutes ago, my apologies for the technical difficulties, but we are psyched, we are pumped, we are stoked, we are making it happen. So come on in, watch the show, let's see what's going on. I see live viewers rolling in. Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from and what you're most excited to hear about tonight, everybody. Living large. We got the computer problem fixed. Fingers crossed. Let's make it happen. We are living large tonight in Washington State and in Colorado. So we got Brian Lundstedt tonight coming in from Colorado. Boom. But first, what I want you guys to do is to apologize already for sharing the first show because it didn't work. But hey, bottom line is we are ready to share and win. We've got another amazing prize available for you to win, and it's going to be a mid-layer jacket from Fly Racing Snow. This is an $80 value. This is one of my personal favorite products. I wear this thing almost like a spring or a fall jacket all winter long. Just like here in the Pacific Northwest, it never gets that cold, so I just wear it all the time. These are great, great shirts, so share it out and you'll be in to win. But we're going to talk all about giving away some Avalanche classes tonight. For everybody who's been buying Live Large merchandise, we've got people who've been making donations directly to the Live Large University Scholarship Program and all that kind of stuff. So let me kill the music and let's get everybody ramped up. So drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Tonight is a big episode, folks. We're going to bring on Brian Lundstedt in 3, 2, and 1. Oh my goodness, there he is.
Hey, John. Hey,
how's it going? How's it going, Brian?
Oh, just another beautiful day here in Colorado.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. So I'm going to adjust my screen brightness down a little bit. Maybe we can quit drawing so much power. I don't know what's going on over here. I think there's like a nuclear reactor going boom, boom, boom somewhere because of all the power of everything I got going on in this computer tonight because we got so much happening tonight, Brian, don't we?
I think so, and it's probably all the people at home logging in and putting pressure on the grid.
I think we're going to break the internet tonight, Brian. We already are up over 60 live viewers, and it's still growing. I love it. You guys share this out. Get the word out there. We've got some amazing stuff going on tonight that we want to talk to you about, and we're going to go through it. But let's just do a quick introduction first. Mr. Brian Lundstedt, give us just kind of the quick 1-minute version of who you are, where you're at, and I'll come back and I'll tell everybody why you're here tonight.
We do avalanche education. We're formerly based out of Colorado. This year we're, like every year, we're branching out and kind of going all over the Rocky Mountain West. And, I'm just kind of bummed I didn't get to see you in person, but I'm really happy to be out here on the show with you because I miss our annual talk at Heydays.
I know, right? It's usually sitting right in front of the beer cooler at Heydays. For anybody who goes to Heydays knows, we all get stuck in and locked in inside this big, giant, fenced-in area. And we're not allowed to leave anyway, so we might as well enjoy an adult beverage or two while we're there.
The cheese curds and the taco wagon, amazing.
It's awesome. It's awesome stuff. So it's awesome. Yeah, it's a great call out that Heyday. So there's a lot of things going on all over the country right now. Is up in Eagle River, Wisconsin. There's a big event that's going on up there. That's kind of a mini version of a Heydays. I think they're trying to take a shot at it. And then at the ERX track. In Elk River, Minnesota, not too far from the actual original Heydays, a bunch of other vendors showed up there too, and so they're having a few shows around the country, and it's kind of interesting how they're playing out. So, have you seen anything from your side, from anybody that's at those events?
No, I've been locked inside, too busy to come up for air.
That's awesome. And so I just want to give everybody a little background on Brian here. So Brian has been a previous guest of mine 2 times before. We had him on originally to tell his story about, his brother passing away in an avalanche, which drove Brian's inspiration to become an avalanche educator, to start Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, which the namesake after your brother, which is amazing. And so we had you on there, and then we had you on again. Remind me, what was the other episode we did? What did we chat about there? It was the second time. Oh, I know what it was. It was right after Rob Kincaid had passed away. You and I jumped on again.
Yeah, just talking about the importance of holding yourself accountable to check your equipment each and every ride.
Yeah, no, I remember that. You and I had bumped into each other out in the interweb and decided we should pull together a quick show on a Sunday afternoon. And I think it was super helpful. It was widely watched, and even in hindsight, I'm pretty happy with how we covered that topic and with the timing of it. I think covering it well, it was on everybody's minds was critical, but also at the same time paying full respect to Rob and everything that had happened at the time. And I'm pretty comfortable that we handled that the right way. So I appreciate you jumping on with me right after that happened. So
Absolutely.
cool. And so now, Brian, this whole thing, I mean, so much of what I've been doing, honestly, has been inspired by you, right? And it may seem subtle and silly to you, maybe from your point of view, but there was one time right after that show that we did with Rob. It was actually that episode. You called me, I think, right after that show or within the next day after that show and said, John, why don't you tell everybody what you told me? You handed me 2 level 1 avalanche classes, right?
Yeah. I said, come out and take a class, and then you'd be able to, know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Understand, well, I think, our perspective on it. I know you've taken lots of classes. Yeah. We haven't taken ours. So.
Yeah. But I want to say, like, what you did is you gave me 2 classes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that one, right? And so, so I'm going to come out and visit with you too. But I think, you probably had no idea what I was going to do with the classes. But you said, like, hey, John, I love what you're doing. Here's 2 classes. I know you'll make the most of them, right? And that, frankly, is what inspired the entire concept of Live Large University, because that was the instigating moment, right? That was it.
That was a long time ago. That was this spring. I don't remember that hardly.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, so if I remember right, I think I said just find something to do with them, give them to somebody who needs them.
Yep.
Use them for something good on your show because you do so much good.
Exactly what I remember as well. So I'm not lying, people. Just to be clear, I'm telling the truth.
I'm just an idiot.
That's all good. It's all good. But hey, so here's what happened: is we took those 2 level 1 classes, and the ongoing, like, people were pinging me and saying, I want to buy Live Large merchandise. I want to buy hoodies. I want to buy hats. I want to buy all this stuff. I want to be part of this program. And it all just kind of started snowballing. And before I knew it, you were on, I came up with this idea for a scholarship idea, and I was initially going to do it on my own. And then as I started interacting with people like yourself, and I got in touch with Matt Shabam over at the Mountain Riding Lab, and he called me, he goes, I want to be part of this too. And I'm like, well, good, let's do this.
I think Matt Entz called you too, didn't he?
I followed up with him afterwards, but yeah,
you followed up
with Matt Entz and with Brett Rasmussen. So all 4 of you guys, coincidentally, are the current 4 ARI providers, motorized providers for ARI. And we got in touch with ARI, and everybody just kind of started sinking. And it literally went from you offering me classes, and I think it was less than a month later, we had fully launched Live Large University, the merchandise store, the whole works. And it was all because of your giant generosity of offering those 2 classes to do some good, right? And so
I just forced my brothers, Avalanche brothers, into donating to it too. I knew you'd do something big with it.
That's awesome. And so it was really a big inspirational moment of everything that's happening. So, tonight we're going to go over what we just did, which is Live Large University. The next piece we're going to go over then is the Live Large merchandise, right? So if people don't already know, is you can go to a website link that's in the show notes. If you go into the show notes here, you'll see it. It's livelargeuniversity.com/sale. And you can buy Live Large merchandise, hats, stickers. We actually have trailer stickers and stuff like that now too. And as we sell those, obviously people can wear those with pride because they know that Live Large stands for something good. It's all about making the most of every day, living life to the fullest, and doing good for others, right? It's like serving our community is what it's all about. And as people wear that badge, they can go on there and buy this. But the cool part is 100% of the profits from those sales go directly to ARI. Like, I don't even touch the money. It goes right from the t-shirt printer guy. What's that?
So how much money do you make on it?
None.
0.
Yeah, no. We pay the t-shirt. I mean, the t-shirt guy's got to be in business, right? So we pay the t-shirt guy. I pay the guy to help me with some shipping and all those kind of costs and stuff too. But all of the profits that would come back to me, kind of the name and the brand owner of Live Large University, ends up being on each of those t-shirts, ballpark 20-25% of the total cost of the transaction goes to ARI is what it is. So those profits that would normally come to me, and I'm hands off. I don't have to do much with it.
And then ARI writes you a check, right?
No.
Oh,
Erie's giving out free scholarships here in a little bit. We're actually going to be doing that here shortly. Your point is
so
what?
you volunteer to help the whole industry.
Yeah, I don't know. My wife thinks I'm crazy too. You probably are the next one that thinks I'm crazy too.
Every now and again, we got to pat you on the back, Shawn. You do a lot for everybody.
Oh, I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. So thank you for saying that. But yeah, so really what it comes down to is all of this money's going into this Kitty for Live Large University scholarship program. And we're going to be giving away here in the next week or so some more. Like tonight, we're giving away the Live Large or the Avalanche scholarships that were based on the merchandise sales. We're going to get into that tonight. Those are the free ones that you offered. But people then were also then pro level and recreational level folks were applying for scholarships through Erie, and I've already been reviewing them. So there's a lot of really great people out there. Everybody's very well deserving, but as we know, the budget's limited to a certain amount, at least for now. But we're going to get into more of how we're going to grow that budget too. But the Erie scholarships scholarships that are going to be given away probably will be done within the next week or two. I'm hoping before the end of the month we'll have that all locked down. We're already reviewing them and all that, but that's not on tonight's show. Tonight's all about the merchandise sales and stuff too. But the cool part is just by doing this program and starting what we've done and consistently every week being on this program and talking to people about this and all of you, the fans, sharing this, man, it's made such a difference in the industry. It has literally inspired people like Todd Kramer, who runs the Soul Sledders page. He is shipping out all these stickers, selling them to people, and then taking all of the money from his stickers and doing the same thing. He's been making donations into the Live Large Scholarship Fund as well. So I think he's raised almost $200 just by himself through selling stickers and such. And then we have another gentleman, David Wagner, a big fan of the show. He's Iron Dog Team 11. He was so inspired by what we're doing. He's also made some personal donations into that kitty as well. And so you'll see his name in this big list of people that are there too. So what I did is I broke out any of the dollar scholarships that were going there directly and broke them out into $25 segments. And so for every $25, they were also entered into the same contest, if you will, for these classes tonight. But then we have all kinds of other people. We have a total of 115 entries into this giveaway tonight. And so we're going to give away 2 of the 100, out of 115 people, or 115 entries there, we're going to be giving away 2 of them. So it's actually pretty good odds to get in on this just because people are sporting the Live Large merchandise. It's pretty amazing.
That is awesome.
Awesome. And so the cool part is this program has also then, as you know, Brian, has caught the attention of the industry, right? So this Avalanche Alliance, the industry, right? So we've got Climb, we've got Polaris, we've got Zebros, Fly Racing, Marlon Sled Decks, like the list goes on and on and on.
I think it continues to get longer too, doesn't it?
It does. We're going to continue to grow that list. But what I love, Brian, I'm actually going to turn it over to you for a minute, is you heard about it live when everybody else heard about it, and you called me and said, I'm just going to say like, what the H? I'll say heck. I'll say what the H is Avalanche Alliance. And so I got on the phone with you and I talked you through it. But like, talk to me through it from your point of view of what you.
In my show notes, you didn't prep me for this conversation.
Oh, that's okay. So show notes. We type them up just so that we can throw them away.
All right. I believe it was WTH is Avalanche Alliance. Because last year, actually, it was like last year, there was whisperings of this Avalanche Alliance. And I'm like, that sounds like something I should be involved in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can join it or donate to it or what I have to do to be part of it, but what is it? And no one could tell me. And I sent emails to like all of my friends. I sent emails to industry people, and it was like this real hush thing, and no one had a definition. And so then when I learned about it on your show, I think that was last week or the week before?
Several weeks ago now, yeah.
It was like, okay, now I know what they're doing, but what are they?
Yeah, what are they? And so then I got on the phone and I talked you through it. And after I talked you through it, then what did you say?
How do I help? Where do we sign up? This is game changing, industry changing. Like you are taking something that we've been like trying to slowly bring it on. Like, I mean, you look at the list of people behind me.
Yeah.
There's industry backing in the Avalanche world, right?
Yeah.
but you just took it and poured gasoline on it, and then threw a match, walked away like you didn't care.
Well, I do care, just to be clear. I do care.
Yeah, no. Just like you didn't care about the giant fire you're
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, it's
going up like a prairie fire, man.
Yeah.
Like, you get all these people on board. You're turning heads in the industry. You're, bringing all of the riders together with all the instructors, and you're giving them a way to get educated. You're giving them a way to get, like, pro-level classes. You're getting the interest up, and it's – how much money did you say you're making on this again?
Yeah, still that much.
Oh. So we're both volunteers, but from one person who's so passionate about, giving back to the industry that I love so much, to see your motivation, especially after nearly a decade of doing it, you start to kind of wonder. Yeah, I lit the grass on fire a few years ago.
You're starting to wonder if anybody's listening, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, we're gaining traction, we're gaining steam, but it's been a pretty damp summer. And here comes John with gasoline. He just starts sprinkling on everything.
Just to be clear, it's not my fault that the entire West Coast is on fire. Let's just be honest, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Too soon?
Too soon. Good analogy, but let's make sure.
Think of another analogy.
No, that's
Something
okay.
to do with police and fair treatment.
It's all good. So anyway, yeah. So we've had a lot of fun with it, right?
Up, John. You're blowing it up.
I know, right? So we've had a lot of fun with it, and when the industry stepped in, and all of a sudden now we have like a $40,000 prize pack that's going out there for this Avalanche Alliance. We now have, again, in the show notes, you'll see the it's called the Climb Ultimate Backcountry Sled Sweepstakes. But Climb's the one that kind of kicked it off and started it. But we brought on Marlon, we brought on Fly Racing. Matt Enns came on with his 2 classes that he's going to offer as part of that contest as well. And then there's a long list of aftermarket performance parts that are going to be on this machine, from like Ice Age and Zebros and SLP. And then we had communication partners like Snow West Magazine and Snowtech Magazine. Like, all these folks are jumping on board to help make the sweepstakes as big as possible. And as of right before the show, it should be sitting right now just a hair under $40,000 we've raised in 3 weeks. Right? So that's amazing, right? So we've got some good traction there already. I just need to be honest with you guys, though. We need that number to get up over $100,000 to really make the impact that we need this to make, for us to really do all the things we want it to do, and to put the money in the bank to really get this fire started. To your point, we want a minimum. So I want everybody to know we want a minimum of $100,000 on that list on the left. When it says right now it's at $39,000, we want that to be up over $100,000 before this is done in the first week of December. So help me out, guys. Share it out. Get that contest out. Let's make this happen and blow it up.
And there's a link on the show tonight that we can go to, and we can buy those tickets.
Absolutely, yeah. And so it's really cool. You can actually, for $25, make a donation to the. Basically, it's they're not calling it this, but it's the same account, the same fund as my Live Large University scholarships. It's the motorized dedicated bucket that's going to go to Erie, and it's going to be then invested into programming and scholarships, for recreational and pro level users who are focused on the motorized part of the industry. So it's amazing, that what's going to be going into this. So
is some of that money earmarked for just general avalanche education, or is that all staying to motorized?
It's all staying in the motorized. Yep, all the money that's the profits and money that's raised there, that is all going to stay in the motorized group. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. It's awesome. So just tons of killer stuff going on there too. And so the next thing I want to talk to everybody about too is that everybody who's watching the show tonight really is going to want to know, how do they get signed up? Because you know what, we're only going to have 2 winners tonight. There's only going to be so many scholarships. But bottom line is we're getting a bunch of people fired up for avalanche education, Brian. And what I want you to do is to talk us through tonight, what is Tyler's Backcountry Awareness doing for this year's program? So I'm going to turn it back over to you for a few minutes, take as much time as you need, and talk us through what it looks like for you this year.
That's why I've been cooped up and not allowed to go outside. So we are trying to motivate a lot of our students this year to bring more friends to class so we can minimize our exposure for, the COVID purposes. Avalanche education by nature has some moments where we are relatively close to each other, and then there is a lot of times where we're out in the field and we're not close at all. So part of what we're doing is just good practices, cleanliness, hygiene, wiping surface down, trying to spend more time in the field maybe than we would, normally. And then motivating people to come with their riding groups so that they limit that exposure circle. And then along with that, we're kind of very much advising people, if you got a snivel, if you got a cough, if you feel a little under the weather, just call us and cancel. We will, get you in a different class. If you show up for day 1 and 2 and you feel great, and day 3 you are questionable, come back anytime. We'll get you in a class where we got a seat, and you can show up just for day 3, or you can show up for the whole thing. We don't really mind. Just trying to be as proactive as we can. Avalanche management is a risk management program, and I feel like COVID management is a risk management program. So it took a lot of thought and a lot of decisions. There's a lot of people trying a lot of different things, and we feel that this is going to be the best for our program and the best for our students. And other people are going to deal with it in a different way, but that's the approach we're taking.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so where can people go to find out how to get registered for a class for you? I'm assuming you have a website, right? Which I included in the website link also. But go ahead.
I've seen this on other shows. Like, go down here to the show notes. Or are they?
They're up above.
I don't know where they're.
Yeah, they'll be up above.
Go to the show notes.
Yep.
Yeah, show notes should have a link to our website.
Yep.
And as of today, our schedule is pretty well developed through like the middle of March.
Nice.
And so once we get along to like February and March, then we'll start maybe even January. It just kind of depends how classes fill up and what the demand from students are.
Yeah.
We usually fill out the spring kind of midwinter.
Okay.
Fill out the winter kind of now. A little earlier than normal, but we wanted to, we knew we were coming on the show and we wanted to have that out.
Yeah.
So that we could get people going and getting educated. Plus, without heydays, I feel like some people are probably sitting around with something, needing to click on something,
I know, right? So people are going to get complacent because we're not shoving it in their face at heydays. And so here we are on John Ferrian Live shoving it in their face here, right?
Yeah, I kind of did my heydays retro booth here. And
awesome.
Now you can go to the website. You can pick out some classes. We have classes for snowmobiles. We have intro classes, level 1 classes, level 2 classes, companion rescue classes, as well as snow bike specific classes.
That's awesome.
And and a lot of our beliefs are, you got to travel on the piece of equipment that you plan on using so that it's relevant, right?
Yeah.
The avalanche train's the same, the companion rescue's the same, but the tools you use to get there are different. So let's go ahead and make that very specific to our customers' needs, students' needs.
Well, another cool thing about your website, I don't think you mentioned this yet. If we did, forgive me, but you told me that you're going to be having like a scavenger hunt on your website coming up here shortly, right? When does that kick off, and what's that all about?
Nothing has gotten past you, John. You must take notes every time we talk.
It's right here. It's right here. I'm telling you.
You told me you were going to throw those away.
I did, but then you talked long enough, I was able to look at them again.
I had somebody from the industry reach out and help me redesign the website. Said, "Hey, Brian, your website's not very cool. Let's cool it up." And real happy with how he did it. And so to kind of show off his handiwork, I told him, well, first it started with a call from Greg at Caliper. And he said, "We got 2 sets of tailless ratchet straps we don't know what to do with. Find something to do." And so I told Matt, hide Caliper's logo anywhere in the website as long as it's not, like on the sponsors page. So there will be a Caliper logo somewhere out of place. And then at the end of the week, we'll draw a winner randomly and send them 2 sets of tailless ratchet straps.
That's awesome.
And then I talked to Tom from TKI last week, and he said Greg can't be the only one that has a scavenger hunt.
Awesome.
And so the week following, we've got a TKI scavenger hunt, and we're going to just keep it going until we run out of prizes.
That's awesome. Nice job, buddy. Nice job. So it sounds like people like winning, right? And like when they come on John Ferrian Live, they win avalanche classes, they win fly gear, Woody's racing gear. We're just giving away stuff all the time.
I had a good mentor. I saw you give away everything you could find, so I tried to follow.
Yeah, like my attitude is if it's been sitting around more than a day just to collect dust, I might as well give it away, right? So awesome, awesome. Well, Brian, is there anything else that you want to cover in regards to your upcoming schedule, your website, anything else about Tyler's backcountry awareness or Brian Lundstedt that we need to make sure that everybody knows about before we get into recognizing some Live Large top fans?
I don't think so, John. I mean, I'd like to just say thanks to you. Thanks for all you do for the industry. Really appreciate you, getting Matt Entz and Matt from Mountain Riding Lab, getting Vicky from Airy and John from Climb and guys from Marlin. And you just keep bringing these people together and pumping them up, and they're doing amazing things. And I don't know if anybody really tells you thank you much. So, from me and probably the rest of the snowmobile world, thank you very much, John.
Dude, it's my pleasure. That's all I can say is it's my pleasure, absolute pleasure. It's like I get paid back in incredible relationships with guys like you and all these people who are watching. I mean, I'm just going to scroll through some names here. I mean, we got Ryan Cook, we got Skinner Bell, we got Daniel Leonard, we got Galen on here, we got Jamie, we got John Miller's watching. Look at that. Kyle Franklin's watching. Todd Kramer's watching. Joe Labernik is watching. Cooper Nielsen. Like, the names go on and on and on. People chiming in and being excited about what's going on tonight. And they know they're part of this Live Large family. And that's what I want to tell everybody, right? Live Large is not John Ferrian's thing. This is the snowmobile industry thing. It's all you guys as much as it is for me. And I hope you guys wear it with some pride. And that's what tonight's all about, is the next phase of our show here. We're going to talk about the Live Large top fans. How many of you guys think there are? Drop it in the comments right now. Let me know how many top fans you think we're going to recognize tonight before I switch over to the screen. And then I'll let you know is at the end of the show tonight, we're going to give away those 2 avalanche classes that we've got from Brian Lundstedt, Tyler's Backcountry Awareness, the 2 classes for everybody who ordered merchandise from the beginning of May all the way through the end of August. That was the time frame that these classes are going to give away. And then I'm just telling you, we're going to actually start giving away classes from the Mountain Riding Lab, from Matt Enns. He's going to have his level 1 classes. And then Brett Rasmussen, actually, just to mix things up, he threw in one of his skills ride days as a thing too. And so we're going to figure out how we're going to break those out over the next, remaining part of the year. I've got an email out to those guys so that they can kind of chime in and see if there's any concerns with my proposal. But I think we're going to be able to nail that pretty good. But let me so Brian, in case we have any technical difficulties here, this is when I had issues earlier, is I'm going to go do my screen share so everybody can see the what do you call it, the top fan slideshow, if you will. So I'm going to try this, and hopefully my screen doesn't flip out on me. So right now, Brian, just so you know, because I know it's a different experience for you, is you and I are now this big down in the lower corner of the screen, and everybody else can see the main screen here is going to be the slideshow. It's a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to be recognizing some folks right now, right here, who I consider some of my top fans and the Live Large University fans. These are people who, for different reasons, I've got a list of them here, but they're all in this for slightly different reasons, but they're all extremely passionate, or they're living the values of what Live Large means to me and what I'm telling everybody Live Large means to the industry. They're living life to the fullest, they're making the most of every day, and they're doing good for others, right? That's the big one right now, is what I really want to, support everybody on. And at the end of this list giveaway, I'm going to tell you guys, there's a little bit of a prize in this for you. If your name is on this list, I'm actually going to be giving, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to give you guys, if you're on this list, a special edition, only available to the top fans, a special edition Live Large John Ferrian Live t-shirt. So we're going to have a basic black t-shirt that'll say Live Large John Ferrian Live on it, and on the shoulder, on the cuff, it'll say Top Fan on the shoulder. And so that's going to be a unique edition that only you guys are going to be able to get. It's not going to be for sale, not available anywhere else. And so this is my thank you to you guys. And we're going to get all of the shirt sizes and all that stuff shipped out over the next month or so. We'll get all that dialed in, but we're going to make sure some recognition happens. So, all right, guys. So Live Large University and the top fans, Live Large t-shirt. So the first one I want to talk about is Aaron McCarthy. I did these in alphabetical order, so if your name's on the list and you're coming close to the letter of your name, just so you know, I'm going down the list here. So A for Aaron, he's got a double A. So Aaron McCarthy was a guest on my show. He's a disabled veteran. He's a Purple Heart recipient from his time in the Iraq War. And he came on the show. He was the winner of the sled from Dan Adams episode in the show that we did there. And he's ongoingly going out and supporting veterans through nonprofit organizations that he has. Just an amazing guy. He lives the live large values to the nth degree. And so that's the next one there I want to talk about. And so the next one now, go to B's, Brian Thibeault. I hope I'm saying his last name right, but Brian comes to us from Massachusetts. Most of the time, he doesn't even see this show until Monday mornings because it's so late there. It's like 10 p.m. on the East Coast, their time right now. He told me he would be here watching this tonight. We'll see if he is or not. But Brian, I want to recognize you for what you're doing on the East Coast. So much of my content is, focused on avalanche education and training, but Brian still takes it upon himself to share this content around the East Coast and to all of the local pages out there, because he knows there's a lot of folks who are traveling out west for rides. All right, the next person I want to recognize is Cal Taylor. Mr. Cal Taylor, Don't Follow Cal. So Cal stepped up and he put his Don't Follow Cal t-shirts on the John Ferrian Live Large website. So if you want to get a Don't Follow Cal t-shirt, it's amazing. Cal also is a huge proponent of avalanche education and safety in the state of Utah, where he's also the president of the Utah State Snowmobile Association. And so Cal continues to do just amazing things in Utah. So next person I want to talk about here quick is David Knapp. So David Knapp is another one of those gentlemen who's out on the east side of the country. So he's up in New York State, big safety guy. He's been following the show almost since we began back in 2018, consistently sharing. I've had a lot of private conversation with him about the things he's doing in his part of the country to continue to drive education, awareness. He personally has been out to take a number of avalanche classes and riding classes with all kinds of pros across the western side of the country. So he's making a big difference in New York State where he's at. All right, the next one I have is another David, Mr. David Wagner, Mr. Iron Dog Race Team number 11. I can't tell you guys, David has just done an incredible job with supporting this, financially. He's been, buying merchandise. Financially, he shares the show out constantly. He's supported in a very big way the Avalanche Alliance program and the scholarship program. He's put more money into that to help promote Iron Dog. David is all in, and he's definitely a Live Large fan. I want to recognize him. All right, the next one I have is Mr. Devon Baker. So Devon Baker, you guys know him as Mr. Baker's Backcountry Team. Devon is somebody I only met several months ago, but in a very quick fashion, he has really come onto my radar. He's living the values of, live large and what all that means. And he's actually the one that's pulling together his team to ultimately pull together a video. So his goal is to do some filming this season. And Brian, I don't even know if you heard about this yet, but there's actually, supposedly, if we pull this off, there's going to be a film at the end of the season, going into next season, called Live Large Volume 1. And we're going to do it every year if it works out. Isn't that cool?
Really? That's way awesome.
Yeah, so, and he totally stepped up to do that on his own. I'm so grateful for his passion for what we're doing here on the show. The next one I want to talk about is one of my friends up in Canada. Ian McNichol is up in the Great White North, and he's another big fan of the show, been watching it forever, shares the show like crazy, always engaged, always asking in questions, and he's doing a lot of farming this time of year. He's been doing harvest up there, out in the fields, running the combines and stuff, but really appreciate what Ian has been doing all along. And the next one I have is Jayson McAuliffe. Jayson McAuliffe is half of the Altitude Sickness team. So Altitude Sickness, if you guys don't know, they make these first aid kits designed specifically for backcountry use. Snowmobiling is their main focus, but of course it can be used for all kinds of amazing things too. So Jayson has been on the show with his partner Rick, but R comes later in the alphabet. I'm just going to give you a hint. All right, so let's go to the next one. We have Jessica Carter. You guys, if I was going to give this award away to just one person, and if I only had one award to give away, I'm telling you, Jessica Carter's who I would give it to. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Jessica is the most incredible human being on this planet that I know. So she has volunteered to step up and to create shirt logos on a monthly basis, and sticker designs, shirt logos, hats, all these things that are there. She volunteers her time to support what we are all doing here. She doesn't have to, frankly. She's a busy lady. She's cranking out wraps for sleds and dirt bikes and all this stuff constantly, but she's always got time to pick up the phone and to talk to me, and I'm just so grateful for what she's done. This program would not be what it is today without her. And so, Jessica, you are my #1 fan. I want you to know that. So, all right, the next one. Who's a J? Anybody else more J's out there? Mr. Joe Labernik, who I know is watching tonight. Joe, I can't thank you enough. You've been an amazing support person, a support model for Live Large. You live life to the fullest. You're just as crazy as I am, going all the way up into the mountains at the end of June, snowmobiling with me all the way to the end of June. And Joe, Brian, I don't know if you know this or not, but Joe is the one, you've probably seen these. He's got pages all over the western part of the country called Never Ride Alone, and they're named by state. And so Never Ride Alone Washington, Never Ride Alone Oregon, California, Montana, Wyoming, all those pages are out there to help riders find riding partners to be able to ride safely with, right? And so Joe's done a great bunch of work. Timberwolf Sledders is part of what he's doing. And the next one I have is Mr. Kevin Correll. So Kevin has been a passionate watcher and viewer of Live Large. He's been buying merchandise. He shares the show constantly out there to all the different pages that he's part of. And he's been running the Skidoo Factory Turbo page too. And he's a big fan of the show. Just want to give him a big shout out. Appreciate you, Kevin, for what you've been doing. And another one of my absolute favorites, Mr. Kyle Franklin out of California. I'm going to take a breath here, guys. Brian, is this exciting or not?
It's so exciting. There's so many winners.
Dude, and we're only half done. Guess what? We're only half done. I apologize for it's taking so long, but you know what? There's so many incredible people that are doing so many incredible things out there. I just have to recognize them, and this is my way. And Brian, people wonder, do I make any money at this? Actually, I lose money, because when I send these shirts out, this is coming out of my pocket, my budget. I don't take any of the money out of what we're raising for fundraising. This is money that I'm investing into the program to inspire more people, to be more inspired, to keep inspiring other people. That's what this is all about. All right, so Kyle Franklin. I think Kyle Franklin is the current record holder for the most Live Large merchandise. He has stickers, he has t-shirts, he has hoodies, he has hats. I think he's pretty much bought some of everything on the website so far. So Kyle, appreciate you for what you're doing down in California. Thank you so much. And I love this one. We mix them and match them. So Melissa Wagner. So Brian, I don't know if you caught this, but about 45 minutes, maybe an hour before the show tonight, Melissa went on. So Melissa is David's wife. So Melissa and David Wagner, they're both rooting for Team 11. I know they're here watching tonight, so this is awesome. Melissa got on and did a personal shout out for the show tonight and what we're doing and everything there too, and got the word out about tonight's show right before. And that's just the class act that her and David are. They're always out there passionate, helping promote the show, push it out there, because they know that this information that we're putting out here is so valuable for everybody. It's just an amazing time. So thank you, Melissa, from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate you. Mr. Mike Flower. So Mike, I don't know if you're watching tonight or not, but I got to tell you, Mike Flower is probably this quiet guy in the corner that nobody's even noticing. But tell you what, Mike Flower, I believe, probably since day one, has been watching John Ferrian live, and I don't think he's missed an episode yet. And he's passionate about the program. He shares it out, not a lot like everybody else, but you know what? He's a consistent follower that's there from the beginning, every single week. And I just want to say I appreciate him for what he is. I've had the opportunity to ride with him a little bit. He is actually to my knowledge, maybe our only rider / snowmobiler / fan from Arizona. So he's down by Phoenix, Arizona, I think Flagstaff, Arizona area down there. And he actually
good riding down there.
No, he actually comes up here. He's originally from Washington, and he flies up here a few times a year and rides up here. He keeps his sled up here in storage. So it's awesome. All right, so the next one I have, you might guess it, is another Mike. So we have Mike Morrison up in British Columbia. Mike is Mr. Power Share, so he's always here watching the show every single week. He's always in the comments, making comments, cheering people on. I love his positive energy and his positive attitude, and constantly getting the word out about all the stuff in Live Large. So awesome. All right, the next one I have is Mr. Monty Wharton. So Monty is out of North Dakota. He's a truck driver, and he finds himself pretty much every week watching the show from a new location in the United States. I love hearing every week where Monty's at. One week he's in South Carolina, the next week he's in California, the next week he's in Washington, and he's knocking on my door going, "Hey, John, you want to go grab a lunch?" And like we do it sometimes. So I met him up at the truck stop one time when he was coming through town. It was awesome. But Monty is, again, one of our top guys who's sharing merchandise. He's buying merchandise. He's sharing the information, the message out there. Very passionate about what we're doing here with Live Large and living those Live Large values. So thank you, Monty, for what you're doing. And next we have an N for Nina Clifton. So Kyle Frankland and Nina Clifton. I know if your names were both started with K or both started with N, I would have put you together, but I wanted to get you guys surprised. But Nina is, I'll call her the better half of Kyle Frankland. And they are out there in California, and combined, the two of those are an unstoppable team. Little quick shout out to what they've done for Side Hill Gill, Mr. Joe Gill out there. Somehow, Brian, you know who Joe Gill is, right?
Yeah, I think everyone knows.
Yeah, so Joe Gill is the guy who swore up and down that he would never ride a new sled ever, like never. Like, I'm gonna ride Old Iron till I die, right? That's Joe Gill. Somehow, Kyle and Nina figured out how to get Joe Gill on a newer Skidoo 850. Like, can you believe it?
That's sweet. No.
So Joe Gill's riding a Skidoo 850 this year, and Kyle and Nina have both set him up with that. I don't know what the arrangements are, but it had to be pretty sweet for Joe to be able to jump ship from his Old Iron. So I got to tell you that. So love what they're doing.
The only question I ever had for Joe was, like, as sleds continue to get newer, like, does he move the bar, or is he just stuck on trailing arms?
Well, he wasn't on trailing arms. He was still running the Arcticat M series, yeah. Yeah, but he's on a Skidoo 850 for this year. So thank you, Nina and Kyle, for that. And the next person I want to recognize is Mr. Patrick Fines up in Canada as well. So Patrick, I tagged him as Mr. Positive. So when you talk about, making a difference to others, Patrick is this guy who is constant. He's like the biggest cheerleader in the group. Like, he's the guy in the comments cheering Devon on. He's cheering Joe on. He's cheering, like, everybody on this list. He's cheering Ryan on. Everybody who's on this list already, Patrick is their cheerleader. Like, he's the guy pushing them, making them better, encouraging them, keeping them excited about things. So thank you, Patrick, for what you're doing up in the Great White North. Appreciate you very much, sir. And right now we're on the 19th person. So Mr. Rick Shircel, the other half of Altitude Sickness. I was teasing you. I knew this was coming. But Rick and Jayson both have been on the show. They're Brian. I don't know if you must have known these guys too. I bet, right? So they're firefighters / paramedics up in Wisconsin in the Milwaukee area. And I've had them on to talk about their first aid kit and what they've done. And then I actually had Rick on, and he did a whole show just on head trauma. And he's kind of a reserve guy. Like, I'm actually going to have Rick and Jayson both on ongoingly. It's kind of a series of shows because of their technical, medical type experience. They're going to come on and talk to us about things about how to treat a broken arm or a head trauma and all these different things over time. And if I have a last-minute cancellation, these guys have agreed to kind of help me fill the gap if we need them at the last minute. So appreciate these guys. Huge fans of the show, big power watchers and sharers all the time. Awesome stuff. All right, so Ryan Cook, you're here watching tonight. I know you are, buddy. I could not leave you off the list. So Ryan first approached me as a guest on the show. I brought him on. He talked about him getting pinned under the sled and needing to radio for help. Lessons learned. He did that whole thing, and it was just amazing to watch what he has done since then, because he also has been a big, giant Live Large fan, buys the merchandise, shares the show, is just passionate about his local community and making a difference in his community, right? And he also was nice enough to have a friend of his put me up as I'm traveling across country. So I got to spend an evening barbecuing with Ryan out in Wyoming is where he's at. So back in the month of July, I think it was. So, all right, so Shawn Donohoe. So anybody who knows Shawn Donohoe, he is the guy from New England that moved out to Colorado. And Brian, you might recognize his name. So Shawn was the gentleman who was caught in the avalanche back on April 7th of this year in Colorado. And he came on and he told his story on my show. And his episode ended up being, still to this day, the #2 most viewed episode ever on my show. And Shawn is on a mission. Like, I'm actually going to put Shawn back in touch with you again, Brian, because he told me just the last few days that he wants to help at some of these avalanche classes that are going on around him, like for you and with Matt and all these different folks around. And he would love to be able to either pre-record like a 5-minute video to give you guys to kind of help encourage people and to take avalanche training seriously. I know he's eager to take his own avalanche class this year, but unfortunately he had a follow-up injury from his original injury. They had to re-break his leg and reset it, so he's down for the count for a little while again. He may not be able to do his own training this year, but he still wants to make...
He reached out to me last week and said he's not going to be fit to take training, but he wants to come tag along and share his story.
Exactly, and if we can make
that...
Yeah, no, he's amazing, and I really appreciate what he's been doing, and what he's been through is tragic, and for him to step up and ultimately, try to make a difference. So that's the live large values for sure. So,
yeah.
All right. So another one I have is Tia Smith. So Brian, you can laugh with me out loud of this. I know she's watching tonight. She's here. So Tia Smith is definitely a live large super fan. She's probably my only fan that I have that doesn't even snowmobile. And I'm dead serious about that, Brian. So she doesn't even, she's in Southern California. I think it's Santa Barbara or somewhere down there in Southern California. She's on the show every single week, cheering us on, watching the show, engaged in the comments. She shares the show.
Does she know a snowmobiler?
She's not, no. She just come across our show at some point and has literally from the beginning almost for this last 2 years never missed an episode, and she's almost always the very first person to sit there and watch the show. And I don't know anybody more passionate about her being here when the content and the context isn't even completely applicable to her, but she feels, I've asked her, I'm like, why do you watch the show every week? She was like, I just love learning new things, and you guys teach me so many cool things. And so she's a big podcast fan, and she's here every week, but I wanted to give her a shout out. Appreciate her being on. To my knowledge, she might be the only person that's following the show that doesn't even snowmobile. So that's awesome.
Has she even been snowmobiling?
I don't think so. Maybe not.
I feel like somebody who's watching needs to volunteer to take a snowmobile.
Yeah, Joe Gill's down there is close. David Wagner. We need to figure out how to get Dave Wagner, how we can get Tia Smith snowmobiling this winter.
Hey, get her hooked up with somebody for a day trip.
Yeah, we definitely need to make that happen. And then the cool fun fact is her dad used to work directly with or for President Ronald Reagan. So there's kind of a really cool family history there for her as well, too. I've learned a little bit about her over the time. So thank you, Tia, for what you've done. Appreciate you. And then this is officially the last slide, and I've got 2 people on the last slide. And Brian, a thank you list and a live large list would not be final unless these 2 people were on it. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Vernon and Carolyn Ferrian, a.k.a. Mom and Dad. My mother and father are some of my biggest cheerleaders. I can tell you that they're watching the show almost every week. Sometimes they miss an episode, but they're usually there also cheering us on, sharing the show. I never hear enough how often they tell me, John, we're so proud of you and what you're doing and what a difference you're making in this world. So God bless you, live large. Just know that my personal values, what I grew up with, my passion for life, I got it from somewhere, and I'm totally going to rock it out. So, Mom and Dad, I'm sending you a Live Large Top Fan t-shirt, also exclusive model. So that's the end of that list. That's the end of that list. Man, what a list. That was quite a list. I think we had 23/24 people total. Yeah, 24 people, 23 slides we just covered. So I apologize for the length of that, but I want to say thank you to everybody on that list. And guys, just know there's so many more people out there that I probably would love to just recognize stuff too, but frankly, I ran out of money. Let's just be honest. I just ran out of money. I looked at this is hundreds of dollars worth of t-shirts I'm going to be buying for me to send out, and I'm just like, I've got to end it somewhere, right? But it's like, if I could give away 1,000 t-shirts, I would. It's
awesome.
Like
if you want your free special t-shirt, you got to do something cooler.
I know, right? There's that too. But yeah, there's lots of cool people out there. Yeah. And so the next list that we're looking at now, Brian, I've shut down the PowerPoint slides of the top fans, okay. And what I've got up right now.
My ugly mug big size now.
No, you're still little. You're still little with me.
That's safer for everybody else.
Yeah, you and I are real little down in the bottom corner of the screen. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to give away those 2 avalanche classes. And so here's my strategy. So my strategy is that your avalanche classes are located in the state of Colorado, and that could be a pretty decent distance away from some people, and logistically, they may not be able to do it. Let's just be honest. So we're going to do a list here. I'm going to pick two. There's going to be 2 winners and only 2 classes we're giving away. But I'm actually going to pick a total of 10 names tonight in order, and I'll track them as we go here and on order. And so what we have is we have a list of everybody who ordered merchandise in order of when they ordered it, by date, or when they gave their donation, right? And so it's in chronological order. It's not alphabetical or anything. It's in chronological order from May 6th, the first order date, all the way down to August 31st. We have literally orders down to August 31st. And all the people, their names are on here. Everybody in the show right now is watching these names. You can see the public. And you can see Mr. Dave Wagner, right?
There, John?
What's that?
Is my name on there?
It actually is, yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
You might need to block mine out, buddy.
Oh, that's okay. If we draw you, we'll just bypass you. Yeah, you're number 72. You ordered your shirt or your hat. I think you ordered a hat on 8/14.
Hat.
Awesome. So yes, you are on there. And yeah, so if there's like someone like you, I didn't order anything. I order my stuff separate from not just through the website, but separately. But so everybody who's on here is eligible to win the class. If Brian, your name gets popped up, we'll just bypass it and we'll do it again. So I've got my random number generator here for everybody. So Brian, you can see this. I'm holding up to you, and everybody else in the screen, you can see it too. And I've got 1 through 115 is selected down here in the bottom. You can see it. I'm holding it up close. Everybody can see how legit it is.
This is killing me.
I know, right? And so
Push the button.
Here we go. So I'm going to hit the button, right? So let me make sure I hit the right button. So, okay, the first number is 7. Okay.
Lucky number 7.
Number 7 is Ryan Cook. Awesome. So Ryan, if you can make it, you are one of the winners of the Level 1 Avalanche class. And based on where he lives, he's in Wyoming, over in Newcastle, Wyoming. It's a little bit of a hike for him, but I'm guessing he can probably make it. So
I have news. If somebody can't make it, needs, whatever, let me know. But we also have some classes in, we got 2 classes scheduled in Du Bois, and if they fill up, we'll fill more. So that might be an option for people too.
Awesome. So yeah, so I'm going to just rank everybody in order. And like I said, technically the first 2 names I pick are the 2 winners, right? Just to be clear with everybody.
And if they decline, then we're going to number 3?
Yep, so then we'll decline and we'll go to number 3, right? And so
okay.
And then we can't, and just another rule that we've had all along, but I just want to make sure it's clear with everybody, is I can't pick the same name twice. So for example, if Ryan's name pops up again because he's ordered more than 1 piece of merchandise, we're going to bypass him. So just to be clear on that.
That takes all the fun out of a raffle, right?
I know, right? We don't want the same person to win over and over and over again. So, all right. So my mom just texted me what size shirt she needs, just so you know. I just got a text.
Is your mom got a number in here?
No.
Am I going to get Mr. and Mrs. Ferrian to my next class?
Probably not, no. All right, so here we go one more time. Let me get up in front of the thing, and we're going to go. All right.
I'm on 72. It's flared out. 80.
It's 80. There we go. 80. So number 80. Let me scroll down who 80 is. All right. Number 80. Oop, I went too far. Ooh, Jayson McAuliffe, one of our recipients tonight. So Jayson is number 80, and he is going to be number 2. So Jayson from Wisconsin. I know they've taken classes out there before. I don't know if it was with you or somebody else, but they may want to do it again. But again, if somebody declines because they want it to go to somebody else or they can't make it or something, I'm now going to pick additional alternate winners if these first 2 for some reason can't make it. I want to have a solid list there so I don't have to figure out how to go back online and do a public auction, all that stuff again too. So bear with me here. So all right, so we're at
106.
106 was the next one. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Kyle Frankland.
He's our first runner-up.
First runner-up, and he's in California, but if I know Kyle, he would probably come out of his way to make it. So
we had a bunch of guys come from California last winter.
I know, right? All right, so let's do this again. That was 106. 31.
31, John.
All right, who's 31? Boom, boom, boom. All right, sorry my screen's so slow here. Try not to go too fast. So number 31, let's keep scrolling, is David Knapp. So out of New York. So he comes out every West. There's a chance he may figure out how to make it work if for some reason he can't make it work. somebody else can't make it work. So, but he's an alternate winner as well. Number 4 out of the 4 that we picked so far. All right,
That's
so
awesome.
let's do another one. All right, 93. So 93, let's go back. We got to keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, so 93 is David Wagner. So he had enough chances in here, man. Like, that guy threw some cash down to make a donation, and so he definitely earned it. But so he is our number 5 pick as an alternate. So if the other 4 for some reason can't make it, then we have you as an alternate. All right, so let's go 51 now. All right, boom, boom, boom. Come on, where's 51 here? Did I go too far? So David Knapp again, but we said we're not going to pick the same name twice, so that one was invalid. Number 100. All right. Number 100. That's, I think, David Wagner again. Yep, so we're going to skip that. 104 is also David Wagner. Number 6. All right, who's number 6? Back up to the top. That's Ryan again. Yeah, so we got a lot of people who are big fans of the products and stuff. So 109. All right, let's go back down. I think my poor computer's going to get wore out going up and down here.
You're going to need a new mouse scrolly button.
I know, right? Went too far, so I'm trying to come back. 109 is Kyle Frankland again. Like I said, he bought about as much merchandise as anybody as I've ever seen. So 39.
Back up to the top of the list. We got 39.
All right, back up to the 39. Well, at least it's alternating back and forth, right? So, oop, I went too far the other way. When I'm doing this screen share, it does a big delay in my scrolling stuff, so it's kind of hard. So it was 39 is, Jarrett Franz. There's a new alternate winner we haven't picked yet. All right. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way to 10. This is dragging out longer than I'd hoped it was. So let's do like 2 more. I think we're going to probably have a winner already anyway. So 58. Who's number 58? It makes people feel good that they might win otherwise, right? So we have Galen. So Galen Heller is an alternate winner. Number 6, number 7 actually. And then let's do one more. Because based on these names that are there, I'm sure we can give away those 2 classes so far. All right. Who was this one? Number 11 this time. Number 11 is Yuma Weeks. That's another name out of Wyoming, I believe. So that was number 8. So I think we're going to call that good, Brian, because I think based on all the people that I know have won, the first 2 I think are very likely going to take it anyway, and so we have some good alternates if not. So let me pop back up to you and I being large again so that everybody can see our beautiful faces.
Watch your eyes, everybody.
I know, right? Ah! Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed this show tonight as much as I did. So I think we've covered. I'm going to go back to my notes, Brian. Anything we missed?
I just want to tell the winners to reach out to me via email or off the website. Don't forget to go pop into the website and find that logo this week so that we can get you tailless straps.
Yep.
And, thanks again, John.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Really appreciate all you're doing. And when we talked about this episode, it was, kind of a fun episode. Usually I get called in when it's kind of a more heavy conversation. So it was great to be a part of it and great to sit here and watch you recognize the people that are helping you do awesome things.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. And so I'm actually, for the folks who won, before they get a hold of you, I'm going to have them get a hold of me just to confirm that they are okay to go and all that. And we can get in touch together too, but I want to make sure that I don't get bypassed because I've got to track all this and make sure that I track it, make sure I know who's who. But for sure, reach out to me and Brian if you can make it and you're one of the first 2, and we'll go from there. But I think we're longer than I had hoped for tonight. Sorry it went so long, but we had so many awesome things to talk about, guys. Appreciate everybody being on. Any final words, Brian?
Live large, John.
Oh, yeah, my favorite thing to say. So, everybody, live large, and God bless you all, and have a great night.
See you, everybody.